Friday night, highway home, and the traffic ahead is funneling into one lane toward a wall of blue and white light. A booze bus, the tent, the high vis, and tail lights crawling toward it. You've had nothing to drink, so your heart shouldn't be going, but it is. You edge forward, license on the dash, and an officer leans to your window with an easy smile. Evening. Just a random safety check tonight. Where are we coming from? And there it is, hidden in a friendly sentence. One part of that you must answer, and one part you should never touch. Get them the wrong way round, the way the American videos teach, and you either hand him a case or lose your license that night. There are 5 words that split them clean. By the end, they're yours. First, don't answer that last question, because that friendly sentence isn't one thing, it's 2 glued together, and telling them apart is the whole game. A safety check in this country is not the soft, half-invented thing the Americans are talking about. Here, it's half concrete steel, half fishing net. The breath test, the license, that's the steel, real, mandatory, and refusing it is a crime all on its own. But where are we coming from? Been out anywhere? Had a couple? That's the net. And a net only ever catches what you swim into. Same friendly sentence. 2 completely different halves. And here's why the difference isn't optional knowledge. That stop itself is lawful whether you like it or not. Under the Road Transport Act, police can pull over any car, anytime, for a random breath test with no suspicion at all. So, am I being detained? Do you have grounds? Is a losing question here. The stop is allowed. 5 words separate the part you must give from the part you never should, and they end this on your terms. But stay with me, because there's one half of this where saying, I don't consent, the exact line from the American video, costs you your license the same night. I'll show you which half. First, the 2 halves, and the exact line between them. Watch his eyes while you sit there. They flick to your dash, to your face, to the back seat, sorting you, deciding which kind of night this is. So let's sort it first, cleanly before he does. On one side is the toll, the things you must do, no exceptions and no clever words around them. You must stop. You must produce your license and give your name and address. You must submit to the breath test and to the saliva drug swab if he asks. And you must obey a lawful direction. Step out, turn the engine off. That's the steal, and every piece of it is compulsory. On the other side is the fishing, where you've been, where you're going, whether you've had a drink beyond what the machine already measured, whose car this is, what's in the boot. Every one of those is optional. Your silence on them can't be held against you. The High Court settled that in Petty versus the Queen back in 1991. Picture the ladder, the fishing builds, a friendly question, then an admission caught on a body-worn camera, then a look in the boot, then a court date. Or the other ladder, the one the Americans send you down. Refuse the wrong half, refuse the breath test, and you've handed yourself a charge that hits like the very worst drink driving reading. But before the half you can refuse, the half you can't. And it's a crime to get it wrong. He lifts the little breath test unit to the window. Just blow into this for me. And this is the exact spot the American script gets Australians charged. So hear it clearly, you blow. Refusing the breath analysis in New South Wales is punished like high-range drink driving. Up to a $3,300 fine, up to 18 months, and an automatic 3-year loss of licence first offence. You don't beat the machine by refusing it, you convict yourself. Same with the saliva drug swab. Refuse it, and the refusal is its own offence. Your licence, your name, your address, you must give them. That's section 175 of the Road Transport Act. And a lawful direction to step out or kill the engine, section 39 of LEPRA. Refuse that, and the refusal is the charge. This is the toll. You pay it smoothly, no commentary, and know the scale of what's rolling through these stops now. In New South Wales, drug driving charges rose 836% in a decade, from 1,400 people in 2014 to nearly 14,000 in 2023 too, on tests that detect a drug's presence, not whether you're the slightest bit impaired. So one warning before we go further. The magic word scripts do not work here. I'm travelling, not driving. I'm the operator, not the driver. I don't consent to be governed. No pseudo-legal argument has ever succeeded in an Australian court, not once. And refusing to blow on those grounds is simply the crime, committed on camera. That's the half you must pay. Now the half he's actually fishing for. The machine reads 0. Of course it does. You've had nothing. And watch what happens next, because it's the tell. So where are we coming from tonight? Been out anywhere? The breath test cleared you. The machine has nothing left to give him, which means the only thing that can build a case now is your mouth. That question isn't safety. The safety part is finished. It's the first cast of the net, and it feels almost rude to refuse because it sounds like small talk. That's the design. The wrong move is the friendly one. Oh, just the pub, but I only had the one. And with that easy sentence, you've placed yourself at a location, admitted alcohol the machine already cleared you of, and reopened a door you'd already walked clean through. There's a case on this exact point, R v Buddee, where a court found there was no power to keep a driver at all once she'd produced her licence and passed. She was free to go and never should have been held. A clean test ends the safety check. Everything after it is investigation, wearing a friendly face. Answer one though, and the questions come stacked like doors, each one built to open the next. Watch the sequence, because it's the same every time. Whose car is this? That's door 1. Answer it, and door 2 opens. What have you got in the back? Then door 3, softest of all. You write for me to have a quick look? Each answer hands over something. First ownership, then contents, then the consent he's been walking you toward the whole time. He must give you a reason for anything beyond the test. That's the law, and it's on him. But you owe him no guided tour of your own boot. Notice the direction it all runs. His questions go in a notebook that doesn't forget, and yours get answered with a shrug and a smile that vanishes the moment you stop being useful. The wrong move is narrating it to prove you're clean. Just some tools, a footy bag, nothing really. Every noun is a thread he can pull, and nothing really is now a statement that can be tested against whatever he finds. Here's the rule underneath all 3 doors. A safety check stop gives him no power at all to search your car. For that, he needs reasonable suspicion, real grounds, or he needs the one thing he's fishing for. Your yes. And the biggest door of all is dressed up as the smallest favour. Nothing in the car I should know about? A beat. Mind if I have a quick look? Feel how light he makes it. A favour between 2 reasonable people. It is the most important moment of the entire stop, because the safety check hands him no search power whatsoever, which means your, yeah, go on then, is the only key that exists. and he is not required, not once, not anywhere, to tell you that you're allowed to say no. Consent is the number one way cars get searched. Your permission does every bit of the work his suspicion couldn't. The wrong move is the one that feels most innocent. Sure, nothing to hide, go for it. And with 4 words, you've handed him the search. When you say calm and plain, I don't consent to any search, you're not admitting anything. It's what keeps the door open to throw evidence out later. The ask itself is the tell. A real power doesn't ask. So you stop feeding the net and you go quiet. Except silence, it turns out, has a trap of its own. You stop answering and he tilts his head, reading you. And now you're inside the frame that has no good side. Talk too much and it reads as nervous. Go stone silent and it reads as evasive. The account gets written either way. The only real exit is to answer with a position instead of a story. Am I free to go? Which is nearly the sentence we're building. But first, kill the thing that's about to get you hurt. If your confidence came from an American video, leave it at the border. There is no Fourth Amendment here, and their whole script leans on I don't consent as if it were a wall. Here's the deadly swap, and it's the heart of this whole video. In America, you can refuse the entire check. In Australia, the breath test is not the search. It's the toll, it's mandatory, and pointing I don't consent at the test instead of the search is a refuse analysis charge. Picture 2 drivers, same booze bus, same night. The first watched an American video and felt ready. Lights in his mirror, he folds his arms and delivers it word for word. I don't consent, I don't answer anything. Am I being detained? And when the unit comes to the window, he refuses to blow. He's lost his license on the spot. The second driver, same clean conscience, blows into the machine, stays quiet on where he's been, says he doesn't consent to a search, and asks if he's free to go. He's waved through in 90 seconds. Same innocence. 2 completely different nights. And the only difference was knowing which half is the toll and which half is the net. One border note before the words. The refusal penalties bite differently state to state. In Victoria, refusing carries a mandatory 2-year minimum disqualification. And since March 2025, magistrates there have discretion for medicinal cannabis patients who test positive but aren't impaired. This video is New South Wales. Check your own state. Now, the 5 words that split it clean. Here they are, and then the one line that carries all 5. Slowly, once. Officer, I'll do the breath test, but I don't answer questions. I don't consent to any search, and am I free to go? Now again, because the second pass is the one that stays. Officer, I'll do the breath test, but I don't answer questions. I don't consent to any search, and am I free to go? Screenshot that. Say it out loud tonight, so it's already yours before the lights are ever in your mirror. Now every piece, because each one has a job. I'll do the breath test, pays the toll, and marks you cooperative. I don't answer questions is your silence on the fishing. And Petty says it can never be read as guilt. I don't consent to any search, hands over no key, and it preserves your challenge under section 138. Am I free to go? Forces the fork. And if it ever climbs past a roadside stop, the 5th. I want to speak to a lawyer. Say all of it calm, polite, flat, be forgettable. Blow into the machine like you're paying a toll at a gate, because that is exactly what you're doing. That case, buddy, is the proof the line is real. Say the line once and he'll push. They always push. The first push comes wrapped in reason. Come on, mate. If you've got nothing to hide, you won't mind me having a quick look. You don't defend yourself, you don't explain. Same words, same flat tone. Officer, I'll do the breath test, but I don't answer questions. I don't consent to any search, and am I free to go? The second push comes wrapped in a threat with no shape. Refusing a search makes you look guilty. It doesn't. And here's the shield. Refusing consent is not reasonable suspicion. Your no cannot legally become the grounds to search you. The law will not let declining a search transform into the reason for one. Saying no is not evidence of anything except that you know where the line is. And I'll be straight, because this channel doesn't sell fairy tales. He can still form his own suspicion from something real and search you anyway. Your calm no doesn't stop a lawful search. It just refuses to hand him an unlawful one. So you don't argue, you don't bargain, you don't fill the silence. The push only works if you reopen the conversation, and you simply don't. Third time you've heard the line now. That's not repetition for its own sake. That's the muscle memory that shows up when it's late and the lights are strobing and your heart's going. Then the one question that ends it. Officer, am I free to go? That's the fork, and it's only got 2 tines. Waved on, and you drive home. Grounds named, or an arrest, then you comply. And every argument moves to a courtroom, where it belongs. Which brings us to the moment I promised you at the very start. The one place refusing is the mistake, not the shield. The breath test and the drug swab are never the thing you refuse. Refuse those, and you've committed the offence yourself. The licence is gone the same night under Schedule 3. Get the 2 halves the right way round, and you are close to bulletproof. Swap them the way the American script tells you to, and you convict yourself. 2 quick edge cases. As a passenger, you generally don't have to give your name, and step out of the car is a lawful direction you must obey. But stepping out and staying silent are not opposites. You comply with your feet and keep declining the questions. 2 people never to be. The pseudo-law driver who doesn't consent to be governed, and the roadside lawyer who argues Buddee at the window instead of paying the toll and driving home. Now put the whole stop together. Every one of these, the toll you must pay, the fishing you can refuse, and the exact words that split them, I've gathered in a book called Know Your Rights. It's linked in the description, waiting for the next set of lights in your mirror. Let's put it together. The whole thing, one line, slowly. Officer, I'll do the breath test, but I don't answer questions. I don't consent to any search, and am I free to go? And carry the one thing that matters most, law access. New South Wales is 1300 888529. This is general information, not legal advice. If it's gone past a stop, the video ends and the lawyer begins. Subscribe, so the next person you love who sees those lights already knows which half to pay and which half to keep. But when the words at your window aren't safety check at all, when it's step out of the car, that's a different moment. There's a video for exactly that. It's on your screen now. And take the ending you just earned. The officer nods, taps the roof twice, and waves you through. The booze bus lights slide down and shrink in your mirror. The highway opens up black and empty ahead of you. Your hands come loose on the wheel. You paid the toll. You kept everything else. Home from here.